Welcome to the Nasty Labs podcast, part of the Greenlit Podcast Network. We're a podcast from game studio Chuhai Labs where we talk about games, game devs, Japan, and whatever else comes up. And as always, we're your hosts, Kinsey and Mark, so open yourself up to Chuhai and let's go!
And let's go! Kinsey, Burke. Wow, she nailed that intro. Can we all give her a round of applause real quick? Please, please. That was just fantastic, Kinsey.
In the year on a high note.
You fucking killed that. You destroyed. How the hell are you? Let's just get down to it. How are you?
I am doing freaking fantastic. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing great. We've got some amazing guests today on our very special episode. What's this episode called again, Kinsey Burke?
We're calling it our Merry Modcast.
The Merry Modcast. Well, fuck it. Let's talk about who we have with us today.
Let's do it.
All right. We've got our mods, our Discord mods, and I'm pretty damn excited about it. Dan, who the hell are you?
What's up? I'm Dan. I am one of the Discord mods. I like video games and video game devs from Japan and Chuhais and
Good answer.
Chatting. So here I am.
Perfect.
Yeah, hell yeah. You also like punk rock music. You're wearing a
Yep.
Jeff Rosenstock t-shirt right now.
Hell
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And with us also is Steven. Steven, who the hell are you?
I'm Steven.
Nice.
I was been to Discord mod for has it been a year?
Near it. Yeah.
I don't know when it started anymore.
Very cool.
Yeah, probably just
Okay,
about.
it feels like a yearish. I don't know.
Don't quiz us.
It feels like something like that. I don't know either. It's been a year, but I run these parts. I'm the sheriff in the town, and I think I've banned 2
Nice.
people. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Nice.
I like games sometimes.
Very cool. Well, today you guys are on the show because we appreciate you. We think you're fine young gentlemen, and we also know that you're a huge part of what makes Chuhai's merry-go-round. That didn't make sense. You're also,
Nice try.
Hey man, whatever. Kinsey, what the hell is going to happen in today's episode with these merry
We have a
podcasters?
great episode lined up for you guys. As always, we start with what we're playing, and there's 4 of us, so there's way more games than usual. We've never had this many people on the podcast, and I'm really excited about it.
Okay.
And then we're going to slide right into the main topic, which is, of course, everything about the holidays, because it's 5 days till Christmas right now? Mm-hmm. So, and this episode actually comes out on, Christmas Eve. So,
Wow.
it's a very
Some pressure.
holiday episode. And everyone can listen to it while they're driving to their, relative's house. Perfect.
Yeah.
Safely.
Or not safely. We don't care. That's up to you.
How you drive, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to listen to this podcast unsafely.
On a ladder.
And now it's time for What Up, where we talk about what we're playing. And the rule I made up a few episodes ago is that guests go first. So, Dan, what are you playing?
What up? What have I been playing? So, Kinsey, you've talked about Game Pass a lot, and I am also somebody who is so stoked on Game Pass. I
Awesome.
just so many games, too many, honestly, to even really figure out what I want to play. But the other night I started playing a new game that just jumped on there called The Gunk by Image and Form. And I've played about an hour maybe of it, maybe just a bit over an hour, and it's really cool so far. It is a game where you play I want to say just a little bit younger than a teenaged character, and you and your sister land on this planet, and the planet has been overrun by this gunk. And so you have a robot hand that can suck up the gunk, and you're tasked to go explore this world and suck the gunk up. And when you do that, all these plants start growing. And so it's this game of exploration and light puzzle solving where you're like scanning plants, like mining them for materials you can use to upgrade your hand, and then you're solving some like environmental puzzles. Like you'll pick up a big seed, and then you have to find where that seed goes, and it'll like sprout a big thing you can climb on to get to like a new location. But it like it feels really good as like a palate cleanser game. Like, you know, when you're playing a game that's like 100 hours, or you're playing like Halo and it's like super intense, and you want something that you can jump in for like half an hour and do some exploration. It's a little bit chiller. So I've been enjoying that. I heard it's like 5 hours or 6 hours. It's not like a long game.
Nice.
But yeah, it feels like one of those things where I might not have purchased this unless, you know, I saw a bunch of reviews that said it was great. But because it's on Game Pass and I was able to download it and just like play it for an hour, I was like, I'm going to see this through for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm digging it. Yeah.
That game sounds awesome, and it reminds me of like almost like Journey to the Savage Planet meets Mario Sunshine.
Yeah. Mario Sunshine came to mind. It's just a cleaning. Like, it's different. You're like, when you're sucking up the gunk, it's like a gun. It's like you hold the left trigger to like zoom in, and then you can like move it around and suck things up. So it's like a little different than Sunshine, but that came to my mind. I was like, oh yeah, I'm running around cleaning things up. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I like, it's definitely worth checking out. And then there was one other game that I started playing the other day. Are y'all fans of like Battle Royale games at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yes and no.
Yes.
Okay. So there's this game called Babble Royale.
Okay. Download now. Download now.
And it's free to play. And it's by this company called Everybody House Games. They made this thing called like Paperclip something a few years back that was like a idle game that people went really nuts for. But Babble Royale is like, what if you were playing a battle royale game where you are like jumping onto an island and then having to kill everybody, but instead of being a person, you're a piece of Scrabble, and instead of an island, you're jumping on a Scrabble board, and then the way that you kill people is that you have to try and get your word to connect to other people's words. It's so good.
Download now. Download now.
And it's free to play. So like you land, you can like pick where you're landing to. It's like a battle royale game where you're like parachuting into the board. And yeah, so you land and you have like a certain amount of tiles you can play, and so you're trying to like play the best word you can to get points to like pay for upgrades and stuff that can allow you like more letters, or like, you know, if you don't like the letters around you can blow them up and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, the board it's a battle royale. The board is shrinking. So if you don't get to the center of the board with your words, you know, you start to lose health. And people will just like start trying to build into your word, and you have to try and figure out like, what word should I build so they can't, you know? And it's really interesting.
One with cues.
Yeah.
I love
kind of
this.
sounds amazing.
I saw it on Giant Bomb, and I was like, wow, that's weird. And it's free to play, so I'm just gonna play it, like, because why not, right? And one of the cool things I like about it is it's free to play, but in their free to play like Battle Pass or whatever kind of like menu, they have a button that's just like, hey, if you want to pay the price of a video game for this video game, like $60, you can do that, and we'll give you everything you can get in the game forever.
Nice.
So it's kind of like a really great thing where I'm going to play it for a while, and if I have enough fun with it, I'm going to be like, sure, I'll give you $50 or $60. I've had that much fun already, and then I'll just have all the little like, you know, you can unlock like hats for your tile or whatever. It rules. Yeah.
Of course.
I'm going to be playing this at lunch today.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been playing.
Nice. That sounds awesome. Steven.
Nothing I've been playing has a fun name like that. I play a lot of stuff, but I think mostly I try to stick to having two things at once. One more modern game, one older game. So on PS5, I've been playing Kena Bridge of Spirits. You might have heard of it. That game's really fun. It looks very pretty. It's made by Ember Labs, another labs studio out there.
Rival Labs.
This is their first video game. They do animations, and if you haven't seen their Majora's Mask film, you should check that out on YouTube. They did like some film that's like a prequel to Majora's Mask that like looks so good. You would have thought Nintendo paid them to do it, and I'm shocked Nintendo didn't like sue them or get a payment off of YouTube or something. But it's still there. It's most of their channel, like, up till the Kana content. But so the game like animates and like looks nice, but like still definitely an indie title. Like they're like, it's not too fancy going in there, and like they focus on the gameplay. Most of it I've heard it described as being like Zelda. I wouldn't say that. I would say more of it's like the combat, because there's combat and then there's like some light platforming exploration. The platforming exploration feels a bit like Uncharted, but maybe like a little better. Like maybe like, because sometimes Uncharted knows like by like 4 they knew that you got kind of bored of climbing around, so the climbing never lasts too long, and they don't do the thing where it's like, oh, I slipped and now I gotta make it on this one. Like you're just making it up very sturdy, level, never breaking, reliable cliffs. There's some exploration, there's some puzzles, some optional stuff, and then the combat's like Dark Souls, where you're locking onto someone, you have a roll on circle, R1 and R2 are heavy and light attacks. And then, like every other game these days, there's a skill tree that lets you buy some like extra moves and stuff. But it's not a Souls-like. I'm not saying that. It just kind of plays like that in the combat. Like if you die, it's really nice. They put you, like if you die in a boss fight, they just put you right back at the beginning of the boss fight. But they don't make you begin it in case you want to like leave or take a break or change the difficulty, which you could change at like any point you want, like up or down. I'm playing on hard. I thought normal was like a little too much for me, but that means I can definitely recommend this to like pretty much everybody based on the difficulty in it, just because I know like normal will be fine for most people, and then there's even an easy if you just really just want to see the story, which is like pretty cute and well acted so far. A little dark in its themes, but it's like definitely friendly enough for like even kids or something, like as long as they don't get too scared of like scary looking monsters or something. Like you get to beat them with a stick. There's like a bow and arrow in there. Like everyone seems to be doing bow and arrows, and it has that fancy thing on the PS5 where like you feel the arrow like as it pulls and like when to shoot. Cool. Yeah, I feel like now that they have that feature, every game has to have a bow and arrow. It reminds me of a little bit of Pathless, which also did that. Like it's a lot of aesthetics similar, but that game's definitely worth checking out unless you absolutely hate like action adventure games. Like you're like, no, I only play RPGs and dating sims, and like maybe don't
only
play
RPGs
them,
and dating sims.
Yeah. Like but if you like hitting people with a stick, if you like a lot of different types of games, it's good. It's not trying to be too deep in any of its systems. It feels like the game's going to be like 10 hours long at the maybe longest, so like I feel like it's a good length, and you're definitely going to get something that's pretty to look at. Also, it looks
so pretty.
And then the other game I'm playing is Metroid Other M, everyone's favorite game for Wii. I've never played that game before, so I've only heard bad things about it for years, and I'm a big Metroid fan. And so I want to take the approach of someone who didn't own a Wii when it was out and go and play the game with fresh eyes, maybe not as much of the bias people had at the time. The context is removed. I'm not expecting it to be anything. Maybe my expectations are actually like really low for it, and maybe that's why I'm having fun, but I am having a lot of fun with it. And it's nothing like Metroid, but it's like Ninja Gaiden for kids. So I'm playing like Dark Souls for kids and Ninja Gaiden for kids. Yeah, just no sword, and you're just a gun arm person, but like you're still jumping on people and like wall jumping and flipping around and stuff. So yeah, it's Team Ninja, so it makes sense that like it plays very similar to that. The English translation is pretty bad though, but I actually think it's really funny. So lemonade. You get life gives you lemon.
If it's gonna be bad, it might as well be funny.
Maybe it's funny.
Yep.
Exactly. We got a new Metroid game if you want.
I'm like very unfamiliar with the Metroid series. I've played like 1 and some of Super Metroid, so like that's another one of those series where at some point I'm gonna want to go play a bunch of them. I played some Metroid Prime before. Yeah, I played some Metroid, the first-person shooter one before first-person shooters made me sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's a series where I'll end up playing a bunch of them, and it'll be nice to come to them without knowing like which ones do people hate or like which ones were a bomb, so I can just come and be like, is it fun for me? Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved Star Fox Zero so much. I played that a few years ago, and like I played it way after the Wii U was like already dead. I had a blast with that game, and I'm like, I have no idea. Like with both Other M and Star Fox Zero, there are criticisms I've heard of the game, and I find flaws in both games. Mine do not line up with any of those at all. I think everyone's completely wrong about them, and the things that are wrong about them are like completely different. But I'm having a blast with this one. I like Zero, so sometimes it's nice to play things later and like get yourself removed from the conversation.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's like me and Star Wars movies. I don't watch them until like 8 years later.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say I haven't watched them yet.
I mean, I haven't seen the new ones yet. So,
all right, they're probably gonna be a lot better.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Keep waiting.
Kinsey, it's your turn. Haha.
So my game is one that's already making a liar out of me, and we're on episode like 19, and I'm a liar.
Uh-oh.
So I said I only play Destiny for the Halloween event, but because of all the stuff with the like fucking Space Horse and the game show, I was like, oh my god, I have to try it. So I started playing the Dares of Eternity mode on there, and that's been super fun. And they just decorated for Christmas in Destiny, so there's like lights and snow and shit everywhere, and like you can get all the like ridiculous Christmas items. So I've been doing that. I mean, it's not as good as the Halloween ones, but I finally just the other night got the like legendary sword thing you can get by finishing the quest line for like baking cookies for people and stuff. That's like the whole thing is you like farm all these like
sounds like Animal Crossing.
Like the weirdest ingredients that you can only get from like certain bad guys, and you use those to make cookies for all the different NPCs in the game.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. More games need a make cookies part.
Yeah.
Why didn't Halo
have to make cookies?
I've been having a blast with it, and the Dares of Eternity mode is really weird but really fun. It is like a game show, and it's weird because Zur, like, I didn't play the Christmas one last year. I don't know if it was game showy or not, but like Zur, the character who hosts this game show, he's like this like basically mysterious stranger guy who's only there on weekends to like sell you really good shit. But he doesn't really have a personality. So like seeing him on this game show where he uses lines that are very similar to like Price is Right and like whose line is it anyway? And he's all like, welcome to our ridiculous obstacle course. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? What is happening? And it's like the weirdest thing, but I've been having a lot of fun. Like, you have to spin this like big wheel to like see what enemies you're gonna be fighting. Like, and that happens twice during the Dares of Eternity. And it's been really fun. Like, I think I'm unfortunately a Destiny for the long haul. But I have noticed, I played it right after Halloween when the Halloween thing was over. And I don't think I ever need to play it, though, when there's no fun theme.
We'll see. We'll see. I feel like you did just say I'm in it for the long haul. You did just say I mean,
a second ago.
Not yet. So let me ask you, what the hell is Space Horse? What the hell is Space Horse?
I mean, it's the horse that rules all the cosmos. Duh.
Of course.
But like during the game show part, it'll be like either like what's his name? It's not Space Horse, Star Horse. Right. It'll be like, oh, the Star Horse is pleased, or Star Horse requests more combat. Like, and you're doing the whole thing. Like the whole point of this whole game show is to entertain and please Star Horse.
Oh.
You could be making this all up. I don't know.
Yeah. This sounds like Ratchet and Clank to me or something. Like,
so like at the end, like when you get your like loot, the big treasure chest at the end that everyone can get, like the Space Horse is standing there and Zur's standing there, and like the horse just like whinnies at you. I don't know, the horse doesn't talk. And Zur's like, remember to spay and neuter your ghosts. And I'm like, whatever,
all right,
guys.
That's pretty tight. All right, that's pretty tight.
Yeah.
That is a very good Bob Barker joke.
It's pretty good.
I appreciate that. All right.
I downloaded Destiny the other day after we were done playing Halo because I was like, I just want something that feels like Halo. I'm like, what if Destiny does?
Yeah.
So I downloaded 2, and I remember you saying the Christmas thing on the Discord, and I didn't see any Christmas stuff, so I don't know if I was playing it wrong. I felt like I was just on like Dirty Earth.
Oh yeah, whenever
there's just crap
Destiny's
everywhere.
super bad at onboarding new players. Because there's like 500 currencies, like nobody knows what the fuck is going on in the store. Like,
No, I
it's
got
so
blue
weird.
cubes,
and it
green
like
cubes.
tells you like
Soylent Green.
if you're new to the game, it throws you into like a story mission first before you can go to the main hub where the Christmas decorations are.
From Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I played it already. I played 1, and I was like, this is familiar.
Yeah, and they just did that. They just, a couple seasons ago, they brought back the Cosmodrome, which was from Destiny 1. So now you start there, and so it does it at, like, random times. Like, since it's not on Game Pass anymore, I had to re-download it as, like, a non-Game Pass person to play on my Xbox. And, like, it acted as though I hadn't been to certain planets. So then I was just trying to go to a fucking planet to do the thing, and it was like, story mission! And I was just like, oh, you
Hey!
sons of bitches. Like, so
You want to know some
it
lore?
doesn't, it's a little bit weird, and it's not very good at onboarding new players. So if it ever throws you into a mission and you don't know why you're there, just play the mission. It's probably not very long.
Okay, I just never got to the Christmas part. Like, I remember there being a hub. I think it was on the moon in the first one.
Yeah, there's like the
and, like,
tower, which is the main hub, and that's all decorated for Christmas.
Is that where it is? Okay, I just never got to that part. I'm like, how do I get out of Earth? I just want to go to the Christmas thing. I just want to see it.
Yeah, it
That's all I wanted.
throws you right into a story mission if you haven't played ever or for a while since some update or whatever.
Glad you cleared that up. Thanks. It's been your Destiny PSA.
Is that all you're playing, Space Horse?
Well,
Well,
as actually everybody on this podcast knows,
right.
we've been playing a lot of Halo.
That's true.
And I was actually all geared up to play some of the campaign the other day because I had the house to myself on Saturday night. So I was like, I'm going to play some Halo, drink some wine, and sit with my cat. And as you do.
Yes,
You do, yeah.
And
Yes, makes sense.
I
Obviously.
like borked up the whole thing. I went to download the campaign. It's like, you don't have enough room on your Xbox. And I was like, oh shit. And I went to my hard drive and I started moving shit and it started moving. But then I backed out of that screen and then it keeps prompting me again, like, you don't have enough space. You don't have enough space. And then I shut down Halo thinking, I was like, okay, I'll just restart it. And then it was like, oh, update in
Reasonably.
process. You can't start it. And I gave it 30 minutes and it still wouldn't let me even start it because at first I was like, fine, I'll just play the multiplayer, I guess. Like, and then I couldn't even do that. So I was like, I guess I'll play Destiny. Like, so I tried. But
Actually, that's how I played Destiny. The servers were down. I couldn't play, so I was like, I guess I'll play this other game. But I was borrowing my Xbox from a brother-in-law, and he has Game Pass, and I think that's how he has it, because they give you that Game Pass logo every time you boot it up.
yeah.
Just to let you know, hey, you're on gamer food stamps, basically. Like, they're like, yeah, you didn't buy this.
own
You
this.
got it for free or something. Like, I don't know. But then I clicked on campaign, and it said, like, you need to buy it. So that was all I wanted to check out, really, was
Yeah.
that, and maybe that night with you guys. But, like, I didn't get to play it either.
yeah. I'll play it eventually. It's open world and it has like crazy good reviews, so I gotta
Yeah.
play it. Have you tried the campaign
Yeah.
yet, Mark?
I have not. I have downloaded it. I am ready to play it.
Step one.
But yeah, step one. I like. I don't have a nice PC at home, so I have to play at work, and it doesn't seem like a game I want to play at work during lunch. I want to really invest like a lot of time
Yeah.
into it, so I'm just gonna wait. It'll be worth the wait. I'm gonna bring home my PC over Christmas break, and I'm gonna play it during that.
Nice.
Stealing from the
Yeah.
office. Wow.
Well, speaking of games that I'm playing, I am playing. As of 2 hours ago, I purchased the game Fire Girl for PC.
Ooh,
I played some of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire Girl's fun.
That looks
So
good.
I got Fire Girl. A little backstory on that. We were working on a game called Carve Snowboarding, and we have this artist named Gabe Miller. And out of the blue, Gabe's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to quit working on Carve because my game got signed." And his game was Fire Girl. And here we are today. It came out last week, I believe. For those that don't know, Fire Girl is a side-scrolling roguelite platformer where you put out fires and you play a fire girl. The graphics are a blend of like 3D backgrounds, like really, really high poly, super fucking phenomenal backgrounds with 2D hand animated characters. It really sticks out, and it's really, really unique. Like, I don't think I've seen a game quite like it before. I've only played 1 hour, about 30 minutes of it today. It is hard as nails. It's like really, really hard, and it is spectacular. I think there's some things they need to fix so far. It's been a little buggy, but that happens at launch. But so far, it's been really good. I can see myself probably playing like 10 hours of it. I'm a huge roguelite platformer fan. So like I've played thousands of hours of Spelunky, and if they can do half of that, a quarter of that, then they've got me for life, basically. I fingers crossed. I think it can do the job. It's definitely one of the most unique looking, sounding games I've ever played.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, the look of it is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to buy it just because of the way it looks. Hearing it's fun is also
so far, and I've read a couple of things. I played the game and I had a couple of what do you call those jumps where you hope for the best, and a leap of faith jumps, and they haven't been very great. They've ended poorly for me.
Are we talking like Mario 2 Japan?
Yeah, sort of, where
here?
like you're like I know I'm supposed to go this way, and then I jump, and then it doesn't end well. So, and I think that's the roguelike element that isn't quite fine tuned enough. I'm not sure yet, but maybe I don't know the game enough. Mm-hmm. That maybe in a few more hours I'll get what they're trying to sell me on those leap of faith jumps. Or something, because I mean, it actually does have a great double jump feature where you use the water, the hose as
hover up.
It works phenomenally too. But I've just had a couple of jumps that I'm not sure if it was unfair or if I don't understand the game enough yet, and it could be either one. I'm really hoping it's the latter, and I do think it's the latter.
Nice.
But that's what I've been playing.
Have you made it to the shopkeep?
I have.
He's my favorite guy. He's like wearing 6 hats, and he's like, yo, I'm selling hats. Like, he's my favorite.
Selling hats. What do the hats do? Are they like the hats for your tiles in Babble Royale, or what do these hats do? Do they have powers?
I've never bought a hat from him. I just saw him. He's wearing like 6 hats, and he's like doing the arm thing, and he's...
Maybe there's a triple jump hat. Maybe if you wear 3 hats, you can jump 3 times.
It definitely could be. But Kinsey, you've played it, right?
Yeah. Fire Girl actually was at the Cursed Golf booth at PAX, and because they're both Thunderful.
Right.
So the Thunderful booth was Cursed Golf and Fire Girl. And so I ended up playing quite a bit of Fire Girl, like during PAX when it was slow, or like before and after. So I was having a lot of fun. And like, it's like when you work retail and it has those like same videos that play over and over and over and over again. We had that for Fire Girl and Cursed Golf. And that's why I like the salesman guy. He's in that video.
Yeah, right.
Like every like 5 minutes I'd be like, oh, there he is. Like
loved it. Right now I would give it I would definitely recommend it. It's on Steam right now. If you have a couple extra bucks and you like roguelite platformers and you like a really odd mechanic with weird visuals, definitely go for it.
Yeah, there's like fire monsters.
Yeah, little fire bats. Yeah. Those were cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Did any of y'all ever play those firefighting games on Super Nintendo?
What was that
Ignition
game?
Factor?
Ignition Factor.
There's 2 of them. There's 2 of them. There's Ignition Factor, and then there's like the firemen. One of them is like trying to be serious. The other one has fire monsters and like boss fights where like the fire suddenly has a face and like you kind of shoot them up on them. I'm just wondering if it's like
Factor was the one that's more serious. I feel like that might have been Jalico, and it's pretty much like Yeah, like you're walking around
Choco.
shooting fire. Like I always thought it was pretty cool, but yeah.
For a long time, I said
firefighting games.
Halico.
Halico.
Really? You thought I was like,
Halico?
I don't know.
Hecho in Mexico. Halico. Yeah, good.
Halico Producción.
Good, yeah. Halico.
Halico.
I feel like I would have said that too, actually.
They do have like on Rival Turf on Super Nintendo. My friend and I would always say it because their logo would go like Halico, and so we were just like, oh, that's how you say it.
Yow.
That's a tip to studios out there. Make a new studio. Make sure you have a logo say the name of it.
Yeah.
Can't be written.
Don't they do that on like Jam or Lammy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool Borders did that.
Web Systems.
Rest in peace, Web Systems. Yeah.
What?
Web Systems. Yeah, there was Cool Borders on PlayStation 1.
When you turned it on, the logo would come up and it would go, Web Systems.
Yeah, Web Systems. I don't know where they are. I assume they're not here any longer. The boards were too cool. They couldn't compete with Carve Snowboarding,
exactly.
so they just dipped out.
All right, and now on to our main topic this week. And of course, it is all about anything relating to the holidays and video games. I have a bunch of like subtopics here, so we're going to be talking about like if you play games around the holidays, do you have video game Christmas memories? Do you have any video games that have sweet winter/holiday themed levels? Bam.
Bam. Hell yeah. So this topic is about holidays. Okay. Kinsey, how do we start this? What are we doing?
Well, first off, are there any games that people tend to play like around the holidays?
I do. I don't have any siblings, but my cousin and I, we're best friends, and we always spend Christmas, except for this year and last year, together. And all we do, her and I, we play Battletoads for several hours until we get upset, and then we stop playing it because it's too hard of a game. Yeah. However, we always play Battletoads. We always play Turtles in Time and a few other beat 'em ups. Like beat 'em ups is like the genre to play with just like your buddy. So it's for whatever reason that's like our Christmas thing.
That's awesome.
That's a good idea.
Sometimes me and my brother will play like, especially once the Switch Online started with the NES and Super Nintendo games. Like last Christmas. Was it last Christmas? I don't know. 2020 is weird. 2021.
I know.
I don't remember when I actually saw people last, but whatever. The last time I had a Christmas with my family. We played like a ton of like Kirby's Dream Course and like we like break out stuff like that. I love Kirby's Dream Course and I'm not very good at it. Yeah. We'll play like whatever game is like that we're all playing right now kind of thing. Like I was thinking this year we might do some Back for Blood if the internet cooperates, because my parents live in the middle of nowhere. But I heard that Back for Blood's gonna have Christmas decorations, and I am a sucker.
Awesome. What about you guys?
I don't have any like games I play specifically around the time. I have a bunch that are like winter games, and I have some winter game memories, but I don't have any like I don't find myself reaching for anything in particular.
Yeah.
Okay. Steven.
Yeah, I don't think I do either, though. When I was younger, as a wee lad, my sisters and I, and my mother would, we'd play Street Fighter II: The World Warriors for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and we would play that until that system was hot, or until someone like threw a controller and it got like real world street fighting, and we had to calm it down. Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of like games like beat 'em up, stuff like that, like Street Fighter. Really, not necessarily Christmas themed, but games you could play together.
Yeah.
I think for like a couple years, everyone just played Wii Sports at the holidays when you had like the non-gamer people. Like I played with my parents and stuff.
Yeah,
and that's actually what we did. The COVID Christmases is we played Jackbox online with my family.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Jackbox be doing that.
Video game Christmas memories. Kinsey, what the hell is a video game Christmas memory?
Well, like, whenever I think of, like, my video game Christmas stuff, like, and, like, when I was little, I remember, like, a few, like, turning points. Like, when I first started playing RPGs was when I got my PlayStation 1 for Christmas, and I got Final Fantasy 8 and 9, and I got a gift card.
The good ones.
So then I went and bought 7. So then I, like, had all of them.
Nice.
And I played 9 first, and it's still my favorite game of all time. And that was, like, when I realized I was like, okay, I think I really like RPGs. And, like, my very first PlayStation, and, like, it was great. And my other one is when I got my Game Gear, my poor parents, like, what we got for Christmas that year was we got, hey kids, we're all gonna go to Disneyland, and then we got you these so you can play them in the car, you know? And the Game Gear, like, the batteries, it takes like fucking 6 or 8 batteries, and they die within like an hour and a half.
Yep.
So then, like,
Oh no.
if you're driving from Seattle to Anaheim with kids that only have Game Gears, like,
You're a living Game Boy commercial.
Mom, battery's dead. Like,
Yeah. Pull over.
You should have got a Game Boy.
it was probably a nightmare for them. Like, when I played my Game Gear when I was little, my parents actually have a picture of me playing. I just sat by the wall with, like, the AC adapter.
Yes.
I just, like, put my back against the wall by the plug, like, playing my Game Gear.
I did that even with the Game Boy. Just like, I can't waste the batteries. I got to use the wall when I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had on my Game Boy. I had a grip that had like batteries in it that was rechargeable and just be on the wall. And I had like a cigarette lighter.
Oh, yeah.
So that you can plug it in the car.
Actually,
Sega needed it that day
like,
one.
halfway to Anaheim,
Just give you gasoline.
we
instead.
stopped at some, like, electronics store, and my mom got a cigarette lighter thing, but only
Nice.
one, because, like, it was like they only had one cigarette lighter in that car, so like we had to like share these. Ooh.
Well, you learned to share, and that's isn't that like what Christmas is all about? Or something?
There you go.
So best mom ever?
Learned a lesson.
Maybe, probably.
Probably just tired of spending all that money on batteries.
Yeah.
Damn.
Kinsey, you brought something up that I think is actually kind of interesting. I got Final Fantasy VII over one Christmas. You got Final Fantasy 8 and 9 over a different Christmas. I feel like a lot of people got into RPGs during the holidays because you had more time. It was cold out. You didn't want to go outside, and the games are slightly more expensive, so you would probably spend more time on that game anyway. So I feel like you just figured out marketing, like when to sell RPGs. Christmas.
Yeah.
Like
Cut this part out. You sell it to Square Enix.
I mean it makes sense,
Give
right?
the secrets away.
Yeah, one of my memories was getting our NES for Christmas, and so I have a older brother and an older sister, and so when we got our NES for Christmas, it was like, this is the present for all of you. And I must have been like 4 or something. Like, it's a really vague memory. It must have been like 87 or like 88 or something like that. Like, you know, and well, I have this memory of another year after that, my brother got Final Fantasy on NES for Christmas. So that fits the whole like Christmas thing. But I just remember it being really like overwhelming. I remember thinking it was a book. Like, and then I opened it up, and then I was like, there is a book in here, like this manual, like, and I remember looking through the manual, and it seemed so like complicated, and I had like no idea what it was. So that was my like Final Fantasy Christmas memory. But with my brother, there was another Christmas memory where, so he got a Super Nintendo after a certain amount of time, and I was never allowed to use it. So I'd always see him playing like Pilot Wings and Super Mario World and being like, what? Oh my God. Oh, this looks amazing. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I guess like after a number of years, I guess he was like getting less interested in the Super Nintendo, was probably like getting a little older as a system. And I remember one Christmas, he gave it to me as a Christmas present. And I don't know if it was like he just was like, I don't have anything for Dan, I guess I'll give him this thing that I don't use that much anymore, or if it was like, I know that he wants this and it was an act of kindness. I don't know, maybe it was like both, you know. But I remember him being like, your present's downstairs hooked up to the TV, and I was like, what? So I always remember that.
He regifted the Super Nintendo?
But I was like, this is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's...
We gotta re-gift something. That's it.
So that was a good memory.
He also didn't like put it in a box and wrap it. He's like,
it's
still hooked up to the TV.
I think he put like a Post-it on it that was like for Dan.
Nice.
Well,
I actually have I forgot about this till now, because like growing up, I don't even know why exactly, but for Christmas, I just when I did celebrate Christmas with my family, I never got any video games for Christmas, even though that was like the thing I liked. Like I liked video games. That was like the only thing I ever would ask for or whatever. I just
and they're
never
like,
got it.
here's some socks.
Clothes. Yeah, exactly. I would get like underwear. It's like, yo, I'm thinking about you have to buy your kids underwear. You can't have your kids going around without socks. Like that's not a present. That's something you had to buy anyway.
It's pretty smart.
I'd get them for my birthday and other times of the year. And so around Christmas is one of my sister's birthday. One of my sisters is born in December. Now I had gotten the PlayStation like a few years before that, and that was mine. That was my birthday present. And since then, I'd gotten like Final Fantasy 8 and 7. And I think 9 just dropped. Like, I don't know if it dropped in December or when it was sometime like, I think this was like 2000. And my sister gets it, and then she like goes to the PlayStation and is like playing it, and I'm like, oh, yo, there's a new Final Fantasy. This is so different. It looks like the NES one kind of. There's crystals and there's black mages. Like it's not like those sci-fi ones like I just got used to. Like this is cool. Like all right, let's play this. And she's like, you can't play this one of mine. And I'm like, well, you can't play the PlayStation. We end up having like a week-long dispute. And it was finally resolved that she could use the PlayStation if I could also play Final Fantasy 9. We worked it out. We ended up working it out, but I think I actually ended up playing Final Fantasy 9 for the first time through the winter, though, and like not going outside. And I remember getting to that ice cave and being like, yeah, I can do it. That's real. That's real right there.
I used to fake making RPGs 2-player by like, I would give my brother the like strategy guide.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, no, see, you're telling me what to do, but when I'm stuck.
Right.
I thought you were gonna say, "Oh, he had
you
the
can make
controller,"
Final Fantasy.
And you're like, "You're controlling the enemies."
Yeah. That's what we did.
Do you know you can make Final Fantasy 9 2 player?
Oh yeah,
it's hidden, but you can do it.
Really?
They don't tell you. You can plug a second controller in. Oh yeah, I bring this one up at parties. I'll be like, I'll be meeting people. Like, oh, by the way, did you know you can play Final Fantasy 9 with 2 players? And they're like, what? And like, yeah, you plug a second controller into your PlayStation. Go to the options menu. You go to like config. Go to the custom controls, and then once you have a second controller plugged in, there's an option to be like, put player 2 in charge of certain people, and like you click on it and it gives you a menu of your 4 party members, and you can, so when battle comes, you can be like, all right, I'm these 2 people, you're these 2 people. Or if they're like a younger sibling, you're like, you can be Vivi, I'll be the other 3. let me handle those.
I actually do remember that Final Fantasy VI had that as well, and we thought that was mind blowing, and then when you actually play it, you're like, oh, this isn't that fun. This is like, let me just do this. Yeah.
It's fun when like one of you doesn't like. I did it mostly with like girlfriends, I guess, where like they didn't play games, and I was like, let me try to convert you. I'm like, see, this is fun. You're making half the decisions here, and then they would just go and like get the game themselves, play without me.
I love it.
Good date night.
And for video games that you don't necessarily play around the holidays, but they fit in the best there, like games that have fun like winter levels, or they're winter themed on their own. Like personally, I always think of like Banjo-Kazooie. What is it? Freezy Peak? Mm-hmm. Is that real?
That sounds like a rare level.
I always think of that one, but I have such a love-hate relationship with any sort of ice level. Like I remember like in Mario Kart 64, the Sherbert Island, whatever it's
Too
called.
slippery.
Yep.
Fuck
Sure,
that
but, like-
ice, man.
Yeah. Or just in Mario in general, you're like, I'm trying to walk here. I don't want to slide around.
Yeah, I feel like ice levels in platformers are the designer taking the game hostage. They're taking it back from you. You went, you bought it, you took it home, you loved it, and now they're taking it back for a second just to let you know, hey, this is what it could have been like.
Yeah, we
if
will
made
kill
it
you
bad.
in this game.
And then after the level's over, they're like, aren't you glad the whole game isn't like it? Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad those other levels aren't ice, huh? And you're like, yeah, okay.
My mind went straight to SSX3 just because SSX3 is like all-time like top 3 game for me. I always loved snowboarding games, hence why I knew what WEP Systems was from Cool Borders. Like I was so stoked when I got Cool Borders 2. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It's not. It's really brutal. But like when SSX Tricky came out, I really liked it. But SSX 3 added like the whole mountain being kind of this sort of like pseudo open world thing, and the fact that you could do like a half-hour run from the top of like the mountain to like the bottom of the third mountain. Like you basically play through every level in the game. It takes you like 30 or 40 minutes to do it. The fact that like blew me away. I was like, holy shit. So like that's just like snowy video game. My mind went straight to SSX3, yeah, because I love that game so much.
Nice.
Yeah, it was Burnout
Yeah,
Paradise before
totally.
Burnout Paradise.
Exactly.
Think about it. Both have DJ Atomica
exactly,
on the radio, too.
dude. Yeah, everything.
Both
Yeah.
EA big.
I'm gonna hop in and say in the greatest game ever created, Super Mario Brothers 2, the ice worlds are the best platforming of all platforming. Go back to them right now and play them, and you're gonna thank me.
I've gone back to that recently, and I feel like if you can make it through there as Peach, you can make it through everything. Like if you can both float and like get the momentum down.
He knows what I'm talking about. He, like when those fairies are flying by, like that is that.
Other fairies?
Whatever
I
the
thought
hell
they
they
were monkeys.
are. Like who knows? Yeah.
They're probably fairies. I had like an RF connection. Like I thought the clouds were teeth. They're probably fairies. Look, go play them on a CRT. They look like teeth. Okay, I play them now on HD. I'm like, okay, they're clouds, but. Yeah, the whole dodging, like you're ducking over something, you're floating
segment.
for a bit, you're landing, and you're suddenly sliding again. Like the physics don't make sense because, like in any other game, if you had floated and not touched the ground and then touched the ground again, you wouldn't start sliding. But they keep your momentum from the air on the ground, like it just keeps going even if you sat still. So you just start sliding immediately. Like you get used to it, and
I'm
it's
gonna
really
let
fun.
you speak for me because I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
What
about you, Kinsey?
Well, definitely Banjo-Kazooie. I always think of that game. I love Banjo-Kazooie,
Sure.
even though it is not a game that like the camera aged very well at all.
Right.
No.
But also even like the ice level in I'm trying to remember all these like level names. See, this is what happens when you like don't like prepare and like look stuff up ahead of time. But like
Yeah.
The ice
the
world.
ice world in Mario 64, like I love that game so much.
Chill Mountain?
That sounds like a Mario
Sounds
level.
right.
Yeah, Mario Kart and like Mario is usually like two
Yeah.
things repeated in
Yeah.
one. It's like chill mountain, spine desert, dry desert. Actually,
And like
yeah.
at the very beginning of that level, when you can, of course, if you haven't played Mario 64, unless you've killed the baby penguin,
Nice.
Makes sense.
and then the ice slide where you challenge that like big penguin,
yeah.
and it sucks because like the latter half of that is so hard because I'm horrible at it because ice and
Oh, yeah.
ice sucks. But if you cheat and you go through the
Yes.
secret passage, it won't let you beat the penguin because he's like, you're a cheater, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
You're just too big to get through the hole because you're a fucking huge penguin. Like, but I love
Yeah, I
it.
thought that was interesting that they knew you were cheating.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, how do you know?
Like, why didn't you
Yeah.
put guardrails up then if you didn't want me to
Why?
file off immediately and then
Yeah,
land on the
I hate
track
that.
again?
Like you let me do this. You let me figure out this like sneaky thing, and now you're punishing me for it.
Yeah.
It's entrapment.
Yeah.
Yeah, rude.
Oh, lawyer.
And then, of course, there's games, like Christmas nights that if you want a holiday game, that one's very holiday. And there's also that Christmas, what is that? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm thinking of this game. What was it? The Christmas, but it's like XXXmas, and it's like the...
That sounds like a PS2 game.
Yeah, BMX.
Like the golf course, the golf course one.
Oh yeah, that's like Outlaw Golf. There was an Outlaw Golf Christmas special game, yeah, and it was like very crude. It was just like, you know, think of a PS2 era game about golf with balls and holes, and what kind of level of humor they would have. That's what it was.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. This sounds like my kind of game. I'm just going to throw that out there. Like, just some absolute trash. I'm going to go check this out. Also, did someone say BMXX?
I did, yeah.
Xmas? Wait, did you
That's what
say
I thought of,
miss at the end? BMXX Xmas?
I said XXS.
Yeah.
XXXmas.
And that made me think of BMX.
That game is absolutely terrible. Miserable.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Outlaw Golf actually used the XXXmas.
I don't know.
Missed opportunity if they didn't.
My mind also went to, I had a friend who, when the first Division came out, they were like super into the Division, and I think I played the demo of it, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me. And then when the Division 2 demo came out, I got super into that, and I was like, I'm gonna buy Division 2 when it comes out. And then the first one was on sale, so it was like $6. So I was like, oh, I'll buy the Division to get ready. And that game was super snowy, and that was what my friend was telling me, like, you know, we hunkered down all winter and we got super addicted to the Division. And so then, like, a couple of years later, I had the exact same experience where, like, the city's super wintry and you're just like looting and gearing up and stuff, and it was looting and shooting, and that was like it was kind of an interesting, like, the game is not super snowy, I don't think, but like it is a wintry game, but then it also suited for playing in winter because it was like, I'll just play this for a few hours instead of going outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the story, like, there's a pandemic that started at Christmas.
Totally. Those games are weird to play right now. It's like, oh, everyone has the flu we all got from the dollar bills, and you're like, too real. No.
No thanks, not today.
Yeah, no.
Not again. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I originally, like, the only answer I could think of for the first was like, oh, my least favorite ice level, like, probably something like Mega Man, or one of the Iceman, where like you're sliding off the edges or whatever. And I was like, no, the entire Grinch Stole Christmas game for PlayStation 1. Don't ask how I'm playing that. Some little cousin that's not actually related to me came over with it, and I was like, yeah, let's play this. I got a PlayStation. And it was terrible. I like the kind of it's definitely a Christmas level. There's in Mario 3D World, there's like a snow level, and that music is like supposed to sound like Christmas music. Like, I know Koji Kondo or whoever was like making that music was like, I'm gonna make a Christmas jam that they wouldn't let me make in the other games, and like they threw it in there. So I think that counts. But then I remembered there was a game for PSP by Majesco, who I don't think exists anymore, but it was like, think Robotron 1984, like a spiritual kind of like remake of that, where it's basically like you're saving people, you're shooting guys, and you're trying to pick up the people and save them just by like touching them. They're saved immediately. It was called Infected, and it came out 2005 for PSP. And the cool thing about this was it was like an online focused PSP game. Like, if you played it offline, you could just switch the camera to top down and you're basically just playing Robotron. But if you played it online, they had a thing where like you could like fight other players on there, and you could, if you beat them, you infected them, and then like your guy would be in their single player game or whatever they were. Like, your avatar would be a zombie just like running around. Yeah, so it was like a game where you fought like zombies or whatever, and like it was like really stupid and bloody. It probably isn't any good at all, but I enjoyed it. And that was actually Christmas themed. There was like Santa's out. Basically, it's another game where the outbreak happens at Christmas. So there's like mall Santas like with bells and like trying to eat your brains out everywhere, and like shoppers and stuff with like presents. And I think like every level has like some gifts you can pick up.
There was a lot to unpack in all the things you just said.
Slipknot did the soundtrack.
I kind of stopped listening after it was like my cousin came over, who's not really my cousin. I was just like, what's going on?
What? Yeah, you were like, what?
I was just waiting for the Christmas link of that PSP game, where I was like, all right, I understand.
It all happens at Christmas. Yeah, it's just Christmas. It's kind of like Die Hard, where like it's really not Christmas, but like if you just have the thing happen at Christmas, there you go. There's snow everywhere. You're in like New York City. You're kind of like in Manhattan during it or whatever. Slipknot does the soundtrack for some reason, and the members of Slipknot are NPCs you can kill. For some reason, they're zombies too.
Oh man,
what is this game?
Yeah,
Infected for PSP.
Okay.
I'll play that. I'll play that.
Yeah, it does sound kind of cool, actually. Like,
It's so dumb. I think it might at least be redeemable. Okay, you have one arm has a gun, and you swap your guns. You find gun pickups, like kind of like an old arcade game. Like you have a score even. There's arcade mode. Yeah, and then your other hand is your blood gun, because it turns out your blood actually cures
making this
people.
up.
You're that person who's immune.
yeah, at this point.
You're the person who's immune to the virus, and thus, if you shoot your blood at people,
Merry
it cures them.
Christmas.
Actually, it saves people, and it makes zombies explode. You have a blood gun.
I can't tell if you're making this up or totally
I'm not.
selling me on wanting to play this game.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought about re-downloading this, like to try to find. It's not on the PlayStation Store, so I can't put it on Vita. Like you got to get an emulator if you want to play this, basically. Or, yes, Infected, 2005. I think Jesco made it, or published it at least. I don't know who developed it.
Did anyone else's mind go to Ski Free?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the Yeti. Yeah.
Oh, how did I forget about
the Yeti?
The
Chasing
Yeti.
after you.
Yeah. I didn't know how to play that game. I don't know. Maybe I was too young, but like I always got
thought
ate
you
by
could
the
get
Yeti.
away, but I guess
And
like
then
it's one of those games where it'll get you.
You can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I just was confused. I thought I was bad. I'm like, I don't know how to play this. Like, he comes, I try going the other way.
You can win. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Minesweeper was like rigged too because of that game basically. I was like, all these PC games are rigged. Solitaire, that's not real.
All right, now it's time for the news.
News.
We've got quite a few articles today, and I'm excited about pretty much 100% of them, so let's dig right in.
Yeah.
So, first one. The Analog Pocket was recently released by high-end hardware maker Analog, and it was released to glowing reviews and pretty much across the board. And have you guys tried it?
Hell yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Oh,
I saw
shit.
just that you got one, Dan.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Give us the update.
It rules. It is so
You heard it
sick.
here.
I was playing some Tetris Blast earlier. I don't have a ton of carts, so but yeah, I ordered this as soon as I could when the first batch came out, and so it's been a long wait. But
Yeah.
you know, Analog aren't some kind of company that was going to leave everybody hanging. They're legit. So I was like, I know it's going to come someday. But like
Nice.
enough cannot be said about this screen. The screen is so sick. It's just so nice looking, and all the options that they give you, like you can change the different types of screens on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I'm so stoked to like get more games and dive into it. But like it's already like they haven't even rolled out everything in the OS, but it's already like amazing. So yeah, I'm so over the moon about it. It's dope.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
They're so awesome. I played with one a little bit. One of my friends got a review unit. So when I went to a party at his house, he let me play with it for a while. And like, I just love the analog stuff. Like, they're just so like quality.
Yeah.
I have the Super NT, and like, I just really like all the stuff that they make. And I need to get the analog. I haven't gotten it yet because I originally didn't pre-order it because I wasn't sure where I'd be living. So
Right.
I mean, I guess I would have gotten it here.
Yeah, I didn't pre-order it because like the pre-order was 2020, I think.
It was
Yeah.
a while.
Like
Yeah.
early 2020, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like early 2020, and like there had been rumors about it because they, I think in late 2019, they like got the website trademark. So I was like, oh, they're gonna get that Game Boy one. And then by the time it came out, like I was like, there's a PS5 coming out this year, and I need a new MacBook, and I want to get the Play Date, and I want to get
And
I want to buy a
expensive, too.
Nintendo 64. Like, so I ended up getting a bunch of other things, but like I probably could have got it now that it came out.
And now it looks like they're like way back ordered again too.
What do you look forward to playing with it?
I really like what's that Game Boy Advance game? Shining what is it? Game Boy. Yeah, Shining Force 2. I love Shining Force 2, so I want to play some Shining Force 2 on it. It's like
Oh, I was joking. I didn't know that was on Game Boy Advance.
Is it Shining Force?
That's a Sega game.
I know those are on Genesis and Game Gear. I didn't know they were on that, but they could
Shining
be.
Force 2.
Maybe it's a collection.
It's kind of like a Diablo-like. And Shining Soul 2. Sorry.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, because like, no, it's not. That's like, okay.
Shining Soul 2. It's kind of like an isometric Diablo-like loot RPG game, and it's super sick. So I'm really excited to dive into that on this.
Hell yeah!
'Cause I love that game.
Very cool.
Oh, you should totally play Metroid.
I'll play
on
some
there.
of those for sure. Yeah.
Nice. All right, and next up.
Yep.
This one I'm really excited about. Indie darling Hades made history by being the very first video game to win a Hugo Award. For those of you who don't know, the Hugo Award started in 1953 to honor the best works in science fiction and fantasy. This prestigious award was awarded to the category as Best Video Game. They had like a special category for 2021. And the other titles that were considered for this were Spiritfarer, Last of Us 2, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Blaseball, which I don't actually know what Blaseball is, but...
Oh, really? That was like really popular early 2020. That's all Twitter was talking about, was like this browser. I think it was a browser game.
Oh.
Interesting.
I thought it was like Blase Ball or something. I never actually played it because, I don't know, I was playing like other games, and I was like, I don't want to look at it.
So
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It was like March 2020.
Baseball, it was like
everyone was talking about
a fantasy baseball style game where like it was really weird, and it had just all this insane weirdness to it, and it was really cool. It was pretty funny.
Nice.
Yeah, it was one of those like most popular games like that week, and like everyone was playing it. And then
But Hades is sick.
Weird.
Yeah, and I mean,
I
that's
still
really
played it.
that's really cool that the Hugo Awards added this. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to read. I feel like I've read at least half of all the Hugo Award-winning novels. I mean, like I used to work at a bookstore, so it was easier
Brag
for me to
about
do that. Well, shit, why don't you fuck off? That's all I did, all right? Get stoned and read fucking sci-fi. It's not that cool.
But yeah, I mean, that's a way that I found a lot of books I wanted to read, just because sci-fi and fantasy are basically the only books I read.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I was saying. Like, I would see the award winning, and then be like, oh, I'm going to read that, you know? So that's really cool that they added that.
Yeah, video games, I think, fit right in.
Yeah,
definitely.
And Hades is a really good example of a game that is super video gamey, but also like it does a lot with its story and how it plays out over roguelike runs. Yeah, it's really cool.
Right.
Totally, yeah. And
I just love that Animal Crossing was nominated because I don't know.
I know, it's like, it's kind of a random, but not so random list, you know? Like, I'm so used to, like, award categories having a little bit more cohesion. But, I mean, I guess it's best video game, so that's a pretty broad category.
Right.
But whenever I think of the Hugo Award, I do think of, you know, like, story. And, I mean, Animal Crossing is kind of a make-your-own story. So
yeah, I wonder if did they see someone on Twitter be like talk about one of their villagers and like, oh, that's the story. Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. I do like all this stuff. Like, there's a Animal Crossing like TikToker that I follow, and her stories about all of her villagers are always hilarious. But I've actually played every game but Blaseball on this list, which also doesn't normally happen when it comes to like video game award categories. I'm like, well, I played one.
Yeah. I was gonna ask super quick if anyone had played Spiritfarer, because I really like that that's on this list too, because that game
I played it.
That's a very special game. I love that game.
Yeah. It was the last game to make me cry.
It's very I love it.
Oh, it's such a good game.
Should look into it.
And I don't know if it still is, but it was on Game Pass.
Okay. I did notice it was interesting that all the games, I'm pretty sure they all came out like 20.
The Hugo Awards is always a year back.
Oh, okay.
I guess so people have time to read it?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, though, because, like, when you think of award shows, the games or whatever that are released in December, whenever that award show is, are usually just, like, borked. Like, they're not going to qualify for next year, you know?
That's
So
true.
I guess it's kind of a cool way to do it.
Yeah, it's the recency effect. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a cool way to do it. And next up is all about Final Fantasy 14, because I feel like that is all my Twitter timeline talks about anymore. And so Final Fantasy 14 sales have been paused because the game is too popular. The latest expansion, Endwalker, just released and caused long queue times and a tons of congestion for those trying to play. Like, I saw people on Twitter being like, I'm number 60,000 in the queue. I'll get to play someday. Like, and this is actually the second time that Square Enix has had to do that this year. And they've cited the chip shortages due to COVID restrictions as the reason they haven't been able to expand their server space. But damn, like, if you have to stop selling your game because it's too popular, like, you're doing something right. Like, like my brother plays a lot, and he keeps trying to get me to play with him. Like, I just don't really want to start like another endless game like Destiny. Like, I don't think I can play two of those at the same time. But he texts me and he's like, "You got to play with me," and then he goes, "Oh wait, you can't. You can't right now."
Wow.
Yeah. I've been wanting to get back into that for like a few years now. When I first got my PS4, like 2015, like I played a ton of that, and there wasn't that much else. And then once games actually started coming out for that generation, I just dropped it and haven't been back since. But like, it's really good.
Yeah.
And I do remember, like, if you came home after work, like 5 p.m. Eastern, like right when everyone was like getting home and just like popping open the beer and logging into Final Fantasy 14, you had to wait a bit. Like the first couple times I played it, I was like number 100, and I thought that was
crazy.
ridiculous. But like,
In the thousands.
don't even bother getting in now. Yeah, play next summer. Get into Final Fantasy 14 next summer.
And like, there was part of me, I was like, oh, maybe I should start playing over break and I can play with my brother. But no, like, apparently not.
The nice part is if you do play it, it doesn't apply to me because I've already started the game. But if you're new to it, like the first like couple years of that game are basically free, and as long as you're in that content, they don't make you pay the subscription
there's like a
fee.
level cap or something,
so you
right?
can, like,
Because a friend at work was playing
up
it,
to 60,
and he
I
was
think.
like, you should play, and I was like, okay, and I got it and played it for a few hours. And I was like, this is overwhelming, but yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
You can play the first campaign and then like the first expansion all for free. I never finished the first campaign, which I paid money for, and I can't play it for free or that second part unless I were to restart over. But it's definitely worth getting into. Not right now.
My brother was like, oh, but the main like story campaign's only like 300 hours, so it's not like your typical MMO. And I was like, oh, it's
more like 100.
300 hours.
300 hours.
I'm at the end of it. It's like 100. If you don't do every side quest, which I don't do, I just playing the main story. I mostly played by myself too. Like if I did, I was basically playing it like a single player Final Fantasy game. And if you count it as one, I think it's one of the best Final
Yeah,
Fantasies.
that's what my brother keeps saying. And
It is.
one day when it's not so popular, I can't play
Yeah,
it.
when
Not
you're
now.
able to.
Yeah.
It's like new Nike sneakers or something. That you just can't play it. You just take the L and complain about it on Twitter.
And now it's time for Call Me Up, where we answer your Discord questions. If you ever want to ask us a question, just hop on over to the Chew High Labs Discord and ask the question in the Call Me Up channel. So first up, we got... I like this one because it's a karaoke question. And I really like that there's like stipulations. It's not like, what's your karaoke song?
Yeah.
It's like, these are your requirements. So you get 3 karaoke songs. 1, you use to impress people. 2, for people to join in. And a last one to confuse everybody. What songs would you pick?
Kinsey, you thought about this.
I guess if I was gonna, well, I'm not a very good singer, but I usually do 99 Red Balloons if I want to sound okay, and I know all the words, and it's a crowd pleaser.
Nice.
For everyone to join in, one time I did karaoke with the Devolver crew, and I forgot that one of our dev teams was from Germany, and they were so excited when I picked 99 Red Balloons. So that's a good one for people to join in, actually, as well. And then to confuse everybody, one of my other karaoke songs I like to do Punk Rock Girl by the Dead Milkmen.
Amazing.
And like,
Good choice.
like
Good
either
choice.
there's like one fucking guy who loves that I sang it in the audience, or people are like, what the hell? Or like the one time I was like up in like a northern town where it's a little bit like redneck, and I was doing karaoke, and I decided I got just drunk enough that I was gonna do Where Eagles Dare by the Misfits. And it was the fucking quietest bar when I was done.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
maybe not going to do that song again. What about you guys?
So the first one I used to try, and I used to always do like a Beastie Boys song. Sometimes I would do like Check It Out and just like do all 3 parts, and I could like mostly get through it, so it would be like sort of impressive, but by the end of it usually it was less impressive because then I was like so out of breath I couldn't breathe, but I would always try and impress with it. For joining in, for some reason my mind went to the Never Ending Story theme song, just because it has that hook.
Good choice.
You know, a Never Ending Story, and it goes up and everyone can do that huge long note together and then confuse everybody. I don't know if they would have any of this in a karaoke machine, but like something by Melt Banana. I would just do
nice.
the noisiest, craziest Melt Banana song I could think of.
Steven.
Off the Dome to impress people. Depends on where I am, but I think a lot of times I go with like I don't know if you guys are familiar with Selena, like not Gomez, the other Selena. Yeah, I get like a Selena one, like Bitty Bitty Bum Bum, or like Como La Flor. Like get one of those songs, and like people are like, oh wow, oh he's singing that song, and they feel moved. They throwing roses and stuff in my head. One people feel compelled to join. I usually go to like something like a Beatles, like something like I Am the Walrus, like something really like silly that people just want to jump in for the hook. And then one to confuse anyone, that's when I switch it over and do the Neon Genesis Evangelion theme song. I had Cruel Angel's Thesis, which I think is like one of the most popular karaoke songs in Japan, but not in America.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to confuse everyone. I switched to that.
That's dope. I don't like karaoke. I don't like it at all. But not at all. Yeah, I'm like a total curmudgeon. I hate it, every part of it. But if I had to do one, it would be a Beastie Boys song, and it would be Intergalactic because I know every word to that stupid song. And it does impress people slightly at first, but then they get tired of it. They're like, all right, dude, we get it. You know the song.
Yeah.
Do you do the hook yourself? You just like when that part plays, you're. I mean, everybody does that part, right?
Yeah.
Intergalactic.
Actually, thinking of songs that confuse people, when I was one of the times I was in Japan, I did karaoke with Chris Kohler, friend of the show.
Nice.
Nice.
And he did the Katamari theme song.
Oh, really?
And it was like the best thing I've ever seen.
That's amazing.
It's like Chris Kohler with like a fucking tambourine, and he's like la 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 Katamari Damacy. And I was like,
that soundtrack bangs front to back.
Yeah.
And it was great, fucking great.
That's amazing.
All right, next one we're gonna do rapid fire, just because I want to see what people think of off the top of their head. Because this question's ridiculous. What does Chew High Lab smell like? Mark.
It smells like a lot of dudes, and it actually smells better than you think. It smells normal. Okay.
Dan.
Confetti and hangovers.
Ooh, that's normal. That's normal.
Steven.
My brain went first to like, I don't know why, it went to like Coco's curry. I don't know why. Like I went to Coco.
Eat Coco's quite a bit.
I don't know. Maybe I've seen too many curry pictures in the Discord. I'm like, people just eating curry in there.
But then it's like curry farts too.
Absolutely. Liam Edwards is like coworker Liam Edwards is just always letting them fly, and I'm like, come on, man. Like, I'm good, bro. Kinsey, what do you think it smells like?
I am fairly certain that you walk in and it just smells like Negronis.
I mean, we got all this
Campari
stuff right
there.
here.
Ooh.
Yeah, it probably does.
Not a bad smell.
All right, next question. Who would be number one in a Mario Kart tournament? I like this one because it's more like everyone's like me, but
Oh, no, it wouldn't be
win.
me. No.
I would be middle of the pack, just like in Halo, where I really hope I'm not in last place. I just don't want to be last.
Okay.
Yeah, I would not be first, but I might be like hanging up there in fourth or third or something.
That is a good question because the correct I mean, I'm gonna say me, but like, is it me? Probably not. Probably number 2. Yeah. All right. I think we just figured
I've only
it out.
like met. I've only met like one person who can like beat me in Mario Kart, and that's like only some of the time. So we're either first or second, the two of us, and then everyone else like.
The four of us
second place is first.
Can never play because that means I getting last. That's my only rule is I can't be last.
Yeah.
You can add the AI in. We can throw those people in, and you can be like, "Eat it, Luigi."
I can usually beat the AI, but sometimes they're jerks.
Okay. They do be jerks.
And last question. Speaking of Mario, I really like this one because, like, I don't actually remember if they, like, said something before this, if I took part of their thing, but it fit in, like, so well. Speaking of Mario, if you had a chance to go drinking with any Mario character, who would it be and why, and who do you think you could drink under the table?
My mind went immediately to Toad. Because I feel like Toad
We can all drink Toad.
But yeah, I absolutely. Yeah. But I feel like Toad is that level of Mario character where, like, you know, is a little overlooked and as such probably has like good stories they're willing to like let fly. You know, you know they're willing some behind the scenes. I feel like Toad probably would.
I feel like Toad's little body probably can't take the alcohol, and like he takes one sip and he's just taking the mushroom off his head and being like,
and you're
I can't go home.
Yeah.
Oh man, let me tell you about the Mushroom Kingdom. What a shit show.
I'm gonna go with Toad on both of those as well, but I think that when Toad drinks, like suddenly he's like, this is my real speaking voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's just a gig I do.
Let's see. I feel like Daisy is like a hardened alcoholic, and she has the highest alcohol tolerance of everybody in the Mario universe.
I bet. Yeah.
I feel really strongly about that answer. So I think she'd be fun to drink with. And then, I don't know. I mean, Toad's the obvious answer, but I feel like I'm going to go Birdo.
Yeah, Birdo's a good choice.
Who I could drink under the table. Birdo's my favorite character who gets left out of so many multiplayer games now. Yeah. And I will be upset about it for the rest of my life.
And then free eggs.
Free eggs. Fire.
You get hungry.
Free eggs and fire.
She just like
or if they drink too much, eggs just start going all over the place. Hey, you gotta take that out of here.
Yeah, breakfast is taken care of.
No eggs. Get thrown out of a bar because they start shooting eggs. I think I'd go. Yeah, I was gonna say Wario, but just because that sounds weird, or like he's a rowdy fella. But no, Daisy. I like Daisy. I'd like to go drink with her. She seems like a nice gal. And then under a table, Peach. Come on. Peach is too delicate. Like she's like floating around anyway. She's probably had a few drinks.
She's got to deal with
how do you float like
dudes all the time? I feel like she's hard.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, she's got like a consistent like buzz going on.
Yeah, in order to get through the day.
Yeah, I just feel she's like ready to fall over if she has like a few more. And floating around. She's always like floating around, and like if you get killed in one of those old NES games, her face goes all red. So I feel like she's, she drinks and gets all like red and stuff.
See, I feel like my thing with Daisy is because she has to deal with all those guys, but it's also she has to deal with everybody, and she's second best princess.
Second best.
We're all
Great
just thinking, and you're like, yeah.
Alright, so that's all the time we have for this episode. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to our mods. This was so much fun. I feel like this was a great like Discord bonding moment, and I got to know you guys so much better. It's so awesome. It was really fun.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
You're welcome.
So, where can people find you, Dan, on social media? Where can people find you, and what are you up to?
You can hit me up on Twitter at YCKMD_. You'll find me there. It's a very convoluted name. I know this, but that's where I am. And you can find me on the Chew High Labs Discord if you're not already there.
And you've also got a podcast.
Yes, I have a podcast. If you go to back-row.com, there's some podcasts there. I do one called Hoser Horror about Canadian horror movies. I also do one called Cream of the Crud about like Blu-rays and movies I've been watching. It's all on back-row.com. You can go check that out.
Hell yeah. And Steven?
My Instagram is open for anyone to go. You find me at it's Photo Dojo. That's F-O-T-O, like the Spanish photo, and then Dojo, D-O-J-O. Photo Dojo, all one word, no undercases. And you can see photos I sometimes take and edit and maybe feel bad about the photos you take. I'm not that active on there, but sometimes I do post some nice pictures, and sometimes I decide not to post them. I'm also on Twitter, which is not open, but if you're nice, maybe I'll let you follow me. And that's Steven with a PH, but the T is a 7.
Nice.
Okay.
And there's also 2 PHs in there, because I thought that was funny.
We will never possibly find that with those instructions. I better call up your cousin who's not actually your cousin for the instructions.
It's an exclusive club. I don't just let anyone follow me. I don't just follow anyone. And then, of course, I'm on the Discord pretty much all day, every day. And you can find me sometimes streaming games on there and messing around.
Sweet. And you can find me at The Henry Demos on Twitter. Kinsey, close us out.
You can find me at Kinzilla on pretty much everything. And of course, you can follow Chew High Labs at Chew High Labs on all of the things. And as always, a big thank you to the Greenlit Podcast Network. And thanks to all of you for listening. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, all the things. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.